Hey guys, Scott here from the Mental Metal channel and mentalmetaldetecting.com, and today we're going to do a little bit of a demonstration video, a little how-to video on the WS6 puck or module. It's also called the puck. It's a new release from XP Deus 2. It's a lighter version of the Deus 2. It is a full functioning Deus 2. We're going to walk through the menu in this video just to give you an idea of how to get around. This video is aimed for beginners who are going to purchase this setup or have already purchased the setup and just want some how-to instruction on how to get around the puck and the menus inside of it and how to do a few things today. We're going to do a couple simple things to get you up and running. Number one, we're going to have to set up either a set of headphones, pair them to the puck here, and you may have to set up your coil if it didn't come with a coil. Typically the standard setup here for the WS6 Master is you have your pick between a 9-inch and 11-inch coil. You get the puck and you have to purchase a set of headphones. And I have with me today two of your options that you can pick. I think these are two of the only options you have right now. You have the WSA2 XLs. They are the full over-the-ear headphones, which are very, very nice. And you also have the WSA2 headphones. These are the ones without the module here also removes off of these headphones. But if you've purchased an XP2 with the remote, you already got your pair of WS6 headphones that have the WS6 module that is removable from the headset. So basically you're going to pop them off of your headset just like this, pop the module off like I have, and then with the WS6 setup you're going to have to place it in the shaft mount here, which is what I have. This mounts onto your shaft, or you have a wristband option that you can actually wear around your wrist, which I think is pretty cool, and I'll be trying that in the near future to see if I like that or not. But right now I have it in the shaft mount, so basically that's how I'm going to mount it to my telescopic shaft, which is right here. This is a different design for the shaft itself compared to the original XP Deus 2 shaft. This is a very molded plastic arm cuff. It's not removable off of the shaft itself. The shaft is lighter. It is it's hollow inside in some portions of it, and it's got a different look to it. But it still is telescopic, still moves just like the other one did. And so it's just a little bit lighter. So that actually with that set up with the telescopic new shaft and just the puck, it makes it the lightest detector on the planet, so they say. All right, so today we're just going to go walk through the menus a little bit just to get you familiar with the puck, the WS6 module, and show you how to pair a set of headphones. That way you'll know how to do that right away, and just get started and to kind of set up some of the basic settings that you have to do every time. Well, not every time, but basically just to understand how you get through the menu a little bit. The key things we're going to look at today, once we get the headphones set up, we're going to do we're going to check out our sensitivity, our silencer, and our reactivity. Those are the three most important, I think, settings in the Deus 2 alone. There's a lot of other things in here you can do, but those are the three main things you're going to want to pay attention to when you set up any one of these, whether it's the WS6 module here or the remote itself. So just keep that in mind. Reactivity, silencer, and sensitivity. All right. So for starters, we're going to go ahead and power on the WS6 module. And there's a power indicator up here on the left-hand side by the minus button. You're going to hold that down until you see the logo pop up on the screen. There is your XP logo. And there is a couple little things here you got to know up front when you turn on this. Let's go ahead and finding my coil, which it does, I believe. Yes. So we're good to go with the coil. Now what we're going to have to do is I want to walk through a couple things. From the very start, I'm in the general program. You can see that it's program number 1. And just like if you had the remote, all you got to do is cycle through by hitting the plus button to go through each one of these programs. So the second program is sensitive. Your third program is sensitive full tones. Fourth is fast. That's my customized program I've already put in here. You'll notice there's a little person next to the number 4. that is how you actually save a custom program. It's right next to the program that you're actually changing, and that's how you save a custom program. You don't have the option of moving it to a different slot. It just automatically saves it next to the program you are changing, which I like in a way, and I also don't like in a way, but I think it's very convenient for this setup. And then 5 is park, 6 is deep high conductors, 7 is Deus mono, 9 is Goldfield. I'm sorry, 8 is Goldfield, 9 is Relic, 10 is Diving, 11 is Beach, 12 is Beach Sensitive, and you're back to the beginning with General. Okay, so there you have it. Those are the programs. Now I want you to notice a couple things. There are 2 buttons here. Let me get a pencil so I can kind of point to them, so you guys, my fat fingers aren't in the way. You have this menu button right here, and you also have a settings button right here. Those are 2 important buttons you're going to have to pay attention to, okay? So this one and this one. If you go into this one first, let's click on the settings. It puts you into a volume menu. Now you're going to notice there might be some other options down here. This one basically says, hey, if you want to keep scrolling through this menu, then hit this button again. Or if you want to go into what looks like an equalizer, which it is equalizer, you have to do a long press of this button. So we're going to hold this down, and that's going to put you into the equalizer. And I will tell you guys up front that the equalizer with the WS6 and the WS2 headphone series, the XLs and the WS2 headphones, the equalizer works really, really well, and it makes a big difference. So you're going to want to mess around with that. And actually, I've messed around with it on my full headphones, the XLs, and this is the configuration I'm trying right now that I like. Very dynamic. You can change the sound a lot. So just keep that in mind when you get your WS6 Master setup, that the headphones and the equalizer really go hand in hand here, and you can really make this sound exactly the way you want to. So again, down at the bottom, you notice there's 2 options here. If you wanted to kind of scroll across each one of these equalizer buttons to change, you would hit this button to move. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. You're moving from the 3rd one, now you're at the 4th, now you're going to be back at the beginning. And you can, using your plus and minus arrows or buttons, you can raise that bar up and down and change the sound. It's pretty neat. You should probably give that a try if you get a chance. Now to get out of this menu, you're going to hit the return arrow button, which is right there. That puts you back into the volume menu. Now we're going to scroll down. We're going to hit this button one more time with the arrow pointing down. Now we're in the audio type. You have the ability to change your audio to PWM, which is the standard Deus setup, or you can change it to square, PWM. That's your 2 choices. I actually like to use square, but it's your preference. And then let's go back and go down the menu one more time. Now we're in settings. Now you'll notice there's another different icon here. It looks like a very small down arrow looking thing. That's an indicator for a long press. Hold in this button down to get to that menu. When you get to that menu, it puts you into another set of options, which is going to be your language settings. If you go down, you're going to do contrast, so what the module looks like on the face here. There's no backlight, just so you know. If you're looking for a backlight, there is no backlight here. This is going to be for your Go Terrain app, which I don't have that. This is going to be for your frequency scanner. You can either set it to manual or auto by changing the plus and minus buttons. Manual, auto, I leave mine auto. And then there's your update menu. Now, when I first got my set of headphones, I had no idea that this little button right here meant to hold down the settings button, or this button right here. And that was screwed me all up when I was trying to update this. So that's just something to keep in mind. So let's go into, that's just your information about, if you hold that down, you'll get more information about, you know, the model and all this other fun stuff that no one will probably pay attention to. But that's just me. So to get out of there, hit your return button back, and then let's click it again. Now you're back to the beginning. So let's return out and get back to the settings menu, and let's keep going down. Here's where you're going to save off custom programs. I'm not going to go over that today, but notice there is a long press button next to side over here. That just tells you there's more there to do. Here's where you're going to pair your coils, your headphones, your pin pointer if you have an MI6. And just to get through this menu, you're going to hit the minus and plus arrows. There's your pin pointer, there's your headphones, and then there's your coil. Now I already have a coil paired up to this WS6 Master, yes. It's hard to say, getting all these letters right. But let's go ahead and pick headphones, and we're going to go ahead and actually pair up a pair of headphones today. I'm going to pick the WS2s, the back phones for the XP Days 2 here. So what you want to do is notice you have that long press arrow showing up on the left-hand side. So you're going to hold this button down, and it's going to tell you switch on while holding down switch on while holding down headphone key. Now the headphone key, I'll put this down for a minute. Put this here so you can see it. The headphone key is nothing more than your power key. So on the WSA2s, there's no power button indicator, but I will tell you it's just by holding down the minus button. That will turn on the headset for you. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to hold up both of them here. I'm going to hold up the headset. Now what you want to pay attention to is there's going to be a light up here that kind of shows up. You're going to want to watch that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hold the power down. See the blinking? And you're going to notice when it pairs up, you're going to see, there you go. You're going to see all that happen in front of you. It's going to find the headphones, it's going to pair them up, and that's it. That's all you do. It's very, very simple. Now, if you want to unpair these headphones, again, you're still in this menu. Hold down the button. And now it's telling you, oh, you want to unpair those. So you're going to hold it down again. And now it's going to ask you to confirm. Unpair, you're going to hit the checkbox. Not the X, but the checkbox, which is over on the right-hand side. So you're going to hit this button. And when you do that, you have no more headphones. They're gone. So we'll do it again. Let's just hold down this button. And first, you got to turn off your headphones by holding both buttons down. And when you see that light at the top, it's going to go out just like that. All right. It's a little blurry. Sorry. I'm trying to get the camera in focus here. So now what we want to do is we have the puck ready to go. It says switch on the headphones and hold down the headphone key. We're going to hold it down. It's going to start blinking. It's going to find my headphones. You can let go. And there, it found my headphones and it's paired up. That's all you got to do, folks. Pretty simple for pairing headphones, all right? So let's keep going. Now that we have our headphones paired up, let's keep going through the menus. Let's return back to what we're doing here at the beginning. So now we're back to the main program window where we were at. We've already scrolled through all the program settings over here. Now we kind of want to get into the machine a little bit and change some of those main three settings that I talked about, the reactivity, sensitivity, and silencer, okay? So to do that, it's telling me no coil again. Interesting. Well, let's go check out the coil. Let's see if we can, what's going on. We're going to go back in here. We're going to find the coil. I'm going to hold down the button. I'm going to pick the coil that I have. I know it's in 01. And then we're going to select it. Nope. I want to make sure I have the first one selected. Yep. And we're going to go back out of this. That should be right. I just wanted to see if the letters were and the numbers were entered in correctly. So we're just going to check box that. And there it goes. It's finding the coil now. That was kind of weird how it just dropped out of there for a second. But that's how you pair a coil up to your machine. Right there, folks. So get back out of there. Uh-oh. Get back out of there. All right. So our coil is paired. We are good to go, I think. All right, so my coil's good. It's paired up fine. It's going to town here. I got a lot of stuff going on. You can't hear it through the headphones because obviously it's through the headphones and not the speaker, because you don't have a speaker with this setup. That's one other thing to keep in mind. You don't get an external speaker. So I can tell right now the machine's going bonkers because it's inside. So let's go ahead and actually change one of the key settings that we want to make sure we change. Let's do that inside here. We'll turn down the sensitivity. So to do that, you need to go into the menu system, or the menu button over here. Click that, and you'll see right now that you're in discrimination. If you keep pushing this button, you will get to sensitivity right there. Right now, this program is set at 95, but because we're in the house, we're going to lower it down a little bit to like 80, 84, and that should settle it down a little bit. And then again, you have your return button. Now the buttons kind of switch. When you start using the right-hand side, you'll notice the return buttons are going to be on the opposite side. So get out of there. Now you can see that, yeah, I thought it was going to settle down a little bit. Apparently not. I got too much stuff around it. So let's reduce it even more to quiet it down. I just want to make sure you guys can see the menu. So we're down to 74. It should be fairly quiet now, I would imagine. Turn. All right, looks like it settled down quite a bit. But that's how you change your sensitivity, by the way. So if you want to raise it up, lower it down, you just go into sensitivity by hitting this button, scroll down till you get to sensitivity. There's 74, we're at 74. If you want to change the sensitivity, just do the minus and plus buttons and raise or lower the number. Pretty simple. To get out of the menu, you're going to hit this return button, which is right here. And now you're back out at the main menu again, the main program, your general program. So now what you want to do, let's go back into this menu. And it always starts out at discrimination, which is pretty good because you're going to want that to be set to whatever you want it to be. And again, to change that, it's just going to be a plus and minus, up and down, either one. Now you do notice that there is a long press now on the right-hand side, this little arrow right here, this little small little arrow right there. You're going to want to hold down the right-hand side now, the little menu button with the circle around it. So you're going to want to hold this button down to put you into a secondary menu. And that puts you into 3 tones. You can pick between 3 tones, 2 tones. You scroll over to the right. You get 3 tones, 4 tones, 5 tones, pitch, full tones, and then you go back to the beginning. All right, so that's how you change your tones. Now again, you also have a long press here as well. So if you hold down that button, it's going to put you into a different menu. Now this is going to be where you're going to set your tone frequencies and your tone breaks. So your first tone is set at 202. If you don't like that, you want to drop this down to like, I don't know, I like to put mine at like 101. You just hold down the minus button until you get down to where you want to be. 101. And then to move over to the tone break, you hit this right button. It shows you the arrow. So now you're setting your tone break. The first tone break is set from 0 to 10, 10 being the highest. That's going to be your highest number. You can change that to whatever you want. You can raise it up. You can lower it down. I'll leave it at 10 for now. And then you're going to hit your arrow button again on the side to switch to your second tone break. Now you're at tone break number 2, or your tone frequency number 2. You can change that. I like to make mine around 6 something, 630, 644 is what I typically like my mid-tone to be. And then I'm going to hit this button again to change to the tone break. And right now, the last tone break was at 10, so from 10 to 72 is my mid-tone. I'll leave that there, or maybe I want to raise that to like 75. I don't know. I'll change it to 75. And then I'm going to hit this button again to go into my tone break or tone frequency number 3. And you can see that it's set at 644. I don't want that. I want a high tone break there, or high tone frequency. So I like to go up to like 9 something, 930 is what I prefer. And then to change the break, I don't know if you'll be able to or not, but let's try and see what it says. Nope. So your third tone break is from 72 or 75 all the way up to 99. And you can't adjust that one. Okay? Very, very simple. Actually, it's very simple to do the tone frequencies and the tone breaks here. It's a little bit more, I think, cut and dry than it is using the remote. So pretty cool. So we're done with our tones. That's all set up. Let's go down the next menu option, and that is your bottle caps. If you want to change that to whatever you want, you can go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the max. Most people stay around 2 or 3. For this case, I leave mine off. Remember, the less filtering you do, the more the machine will do for you. I guess is that the more power you have in the ground, the less filtering you use, the deeper it goes too. So just keep that in mind. So the more things you turn on, the less it's going to give and take in some areas, and that's just something you got to be aware of. Let's go back out of this menu. So we went through discrimination. We want to make sure we didn't miss anything. So let's hold down this button again. B caps. Or notch. Here's where you could put in a notch. I'm not going to go over notch today because we're just trying to keep this very simple. There's our silencer. So remember, we were changing the reactivity, the sensitivity, and the silencer. So here's your silencer. And I'm going to leave that at 2, but if you wanted to change that, you just use your plus and minus buttons like normal. All right, so let's go down one more, and we're back to tones again. So basically, that's pretty much it for that drop down menu that you have when you go into discrimination. So let's get back out of there. Now we're in discrimination. Let's go down one menu to sensitivity. We already went over that. Let's go down to the frequency shift. I usually don't mess too much with that, but if you wanted to do a quick scan, you're going to hold this button down because it says scan there. If you hold it down, this is where it's going to do your 2-second noise cancel. And it should be done. So that's it. So it picked channel 4 for you. All right. Let's go down one more to iron volume. This is where you change your iron volume around. Same thing applies, either plus or minus to raise the value. And you go down again. Here's where your activity is. This is one of those other settings you're going to want to pay attention to. Right now, this program is set at 2.5. That's fine. I typically like to run mine around 2, maybe 1. A lot of times I may turn it off if I'm in a very clean patch of ground just to get more depth. But typically running at 2, 2.5 is pretty good. I don't like going any higher than like 2.5. So that's fine. Menu again, let's go down. This is our, oops, I keep getting off focus here. Audio resolution is 4. If you go up to 5, 6, 7, 8, only 7, sorry. Anything above 4, I think you really start jacking with your, the audio, the ability to detect depth with the audio. If you're at the beach or something, you may want to crank up your audio response to 5, 6, being louder. You're going to want to hear those deep beach targets, and you may not need to know or hear the faint squeakers or the silent ones that are in the whispers, they call them, in the ground. But if you leave it at 4, you will get that audio nuance or whatever about it that makes the Deus so unique. So keep it at 4 if you can. But if you're going to go, if you're a very, very noisy area, or you need to hear the signals better because there's a lot of noise from either a road, or maybe you're sweeping the coil through dry leaves, and it's just a lot of noise, ground noise, then crank it up a little bit. It won't hurt you. And let's see what else we got. Let's hit the menu again. Our ground grab here is set at 87, but if you want to do a quick ground grab, you're going to hold down this button just like it shows you and let it do a ground grab. And then that's where you'd actually do your raising up and down of the coil. This is really called ground balance. That's how you do a quick ground balance. We're not going to do that. And then we're back to the beginning again. So let's make sure we've hit all of these menus. B caps, notch, silencer, tones. Yep. And that's really it for the menu. Everything's kind of straightforward in my opinion. I think they really did a good job on this, which I think is pretty cool. Let's get out of here, go back to the beginning. And so here we're at the general program again. Now what you can do also is change the display. So right now you're in the horseshoe pattern where you have the full ferrous on the left, non-ferrous on the right. Let me get my pencil here. Your non-ferrous will be from here over to here. So if you get a signal, this is your ferrous, goes this way. That's considered your horseshoe pattern. If you want to create or raise and use the big numbers like you can on the remote, you're going to hold and press these two buttons down. All right, so let me do it for you. Hold these two buttons down, and now you're into the big number display. And if I raise up my sensitivity a little bit, you should see the big numbers pop on the screen when it detects something there. So the big numbers are there. That's pretty neat. I do like the big number display on this machine, on the WS6 Master, because my eyesight's a little bad, so I like to turn on the big numbers. The one thing you don't get, though, is you don't get the ferrous or non-ferrous horseshoe indicator. So maybe they'll change that with an update. Who knows? But when you don't get a signal, you're back to the horseshoe shape. So basically, that is it in a nutshell. I wanted to make sure you guys understood how to turn this machine on, how to pair a set of headphones. We went through even how to pair a coil, because mine was having fits there for a second. I walked you through how to find your sensitivity, your reactivity, and your silencer. And then those are your three main settings you always want to check when you're playing around with this machine. That's just my preference to check all those, and those are the ones you adjust the most when you're out in the field. So real simple, just navigation how-to today. Hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did, leave me a comment. Tell me you did. And if you didn't, I'm also okay with getting the bad comments. And who knows, I might pick your comments and put them in a video. So you never know. All right, that's it for me today. Rocky's tired. He wants to go to bed, so I'm going to take him and put him to bed. He's over here sleeping on the floor. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another Mental Metal video.